asked Peter to play Moonlight Serenade because some of you might know that this was a blue moon, the one and only blue moon in the last 29 years, from what I understand. So quite an event for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So thank you, Peter. That was just perfect and wonderful. So stepping into New Year, stepping into the new way of being. I want to share a story with you that some of you may have heard before that really becomes a metaphor for our lives and really illustrates how we become so locked into the way of doing things, that we've always done it that way. How many of you hear that from time to time? We've always done it that way. I hear it almost daily. Well, the U.S. standard railroad gauge is 4 feet 8.5 inches wide. It's an odd number, and it is because it was built in England, and of course the expatriates had to carry it over to the U.S. You know how those English are. And the English used that because it was used in the building of their own tramways. So it was a standard. Well, why did they use that gauge? Well, the people who built the tramways used the same spacing that was used for wagons, wagon wheel spacing. So why did the wagon wheels become the example of the spacing? Well, that's because of the ruts that the wagon wheels created when they rolled on the ground. But who built the rutted roads? Imperial Rome. Now, why the ruts in the roads? Well, the Roman war chariots that everyone else had to follow had to use those ruts, or else their wheels would break off. So, the U.S. standard railroad gauge became 8 feet 4.5 inches. And it is derived from the very original specifications of the Roman chariots. Now with that, they were just big enough for the width of 2 horses. Okay? So 2 horses fit behind this arrangement. Okay? Now there's a twist to this. Okay? The shuttle launch pad had 2 booster rockets attached to the sides of the fuel tank. They are the solid rocket boosters, or SRBs, for those of you who are into that kind of stuff. The engineers that designed them wanted them to be a bit fatter, but they couldn't make them any fatter because they wouldn't fit through the tunnel. Because the tunnel had been designed to fit the railroad gauge. So the tunnel is slightly larger than the track, and as you know, it is about as wide as the size of 2 horses' butts. So